Welcome to episode 2 of Mike in Texas. This is actually my second attempt at making this video because yesterday when I was shooting this, I was talking about the Israel and Iran potential crisis and what we should do or what we might want to do or what we might want to consider if such a conflict were to arise. And while I was editing it, such a conflict arose. We bombed Iran last night. So people have been asking me at work for some reason my opinion of the Israel-Iran-Hamas crisis and our potential involvement in it. Why they're asking me, I don't know. Should they be asking me? I don't know. But they are asking, they are trying to find out more, and people trying to find out more is a good thing. So I'm at least going to make some attempts. Feel free to leave comments below. Constructive comments. If you have a different opinion, if you have something to add, if you have more information about something than I'm presenting here, feel free to drop it in there. The usual pundit stuff back and forth, the other side is stupid, I don't need that. To our point, it is too soon for answers, it is too soon for valid opinions. We are in the realm right now of impressions, reactions, and questions. First question, was that the right thing to do? Second question, if it was the right thing to do, was it the right time to do it? And third, if it's the right thing to do and it was the right time, did we do it the right way? I have some concerns. So to illustrate those concerns, we need to do a little bit of a flashback. So, screw special effects. Back in the Cheney administration, and yes, I said the Cheney administration, the Cheney-Bush team came into office spoiling for war against Iraq. They wanted to attack Iraq. They needed an excuse to attack Iraq because they thought that Bush Sr., H.W. Bush, didn't go far enough in the Iraqi-Kuwait war. They thought that he should have gone all the way to Baghdad and taken over the country. The problem with that, according to H.W. Bush, my hero, was that once Iraq was out of Kuwait and their air force was decimated and they weren't allowed to fly anywhere, they weren't a threat to the region or to us. So there was no reason to go after them. Furthermore, if we were to put boots on the ground in Iraq, we would be trapped in a quagmire. So he said no. That held no sway with these two and the other hawks that they brought into this administration with them. So they needed to construct ideas for how to go after Iraq or to justify going after Iraq. And the first opportunity came, of course, with 9/11. They thought, hey, 9/11 came up. We're sure Iraq had something to do with this. We're going to go bomb Iraq. Oh, wait a second. CIA said, nope, Afghanistan is what brought down the towers. So, yes, we had to go deal with Afghanistan. And yes, I'm all for it. Good thing. They deserved it. Good job, team. But now that's over. It's time to go back to trying to find a way to go after Iraq. They continued to float the 9/11 narrative, and it just didn't fly. So they tried other things. They went after the weapons of mass destruction angle. They took a picture of this truck to the UN and said that this truck was a mobile biochemical weapons lab, that they could make chemical weapons and transport it anywhere they want and disperse it at any time. Well, it turns out that truck was actually a truck for producing hydrogen to fill balloons to measure wind patterns, not a bioweapon. They accused a factory of being a chemical weapons factory, but it turned out it was just a fertilizer factory, and they supplied fertilizer for an entire region, and that's why they had so many of these chemicals. It was just a fertilizer factory. They said, hey, Iraq has gotten yellowcake uranium from South Africa. Well, a CIA agent came forward and said that was not true, and the Cheney administration made sure that she was outed and fired. If you want more information on that, see Valerie Plame and Joseph Wilson. So They cherry-picked the information that supported their narrative. Anything that was counter to their narrative, they discredited, pushed back, and bullied. So they jumped in anyway. They found no weapons of mass destruction, and we were caught in a quagmire for quite some time. So flashback forward to today, and we have veteran intelligence agents telling our administration that Iran is not currently making atomic bombs, that there is no current program to make atomic bombs, and that such a threat is quite a ways out. Tulsi Gabbard testified before Congress that no bomb was being made and that there was no program in place and that there was no immediate threat. Well, Trump fired the two operatives that gave that report, and he publicly chastised Gabbard for contradicting him and said that she was wrong. Lo and behold, the next day she said, oh yes, wait, they are just weeks away from building a bomb. This next part is difficult. In Trump's defense, boy, that tasted bad. But in Trump's defense, and I'm not going to say this often, but fair is fair. Gabbard is completely unqualified for the position she's in as director of the intelligence agency. She has no experience. She has no business being there. Yes, he appointed her, but nothing she says carries any weight with me or apparently anyone else. And those two agents that submitted that report, for all I know, they have become fat and complacent, and it was a faulty report, for all I know. Because we do know from the IAEA that Iran has significantly increased its supply of refined uranium to the point where they have much more than they need for their civilian power plants and of a higher quality than they need for their civilian power plants. In fact, the IAEA said they had enough laying around that they might be able to make 10 atomic bombs. Well, that sounds like a threat. And Marco Rubio said today on television that it was irrelevant whether or not they were building a bomb currently, because they have enough stuff that if they decided today to start making a bomb, that they could do so fairly quickly. And, you know, they do have several underground nuclear facilities. I am not comfortable with that. So that, to me, sounds like a credible threat. And it is a violation of agreements that we had made with them. And to Trump's credit, he offered them a chance to come to the table. He demanded they come to the table or face serious consequences. And they gave him the one-finger salute and sent a few more missiles to Israel just to make their point. So he said within 2 weeks he was going to do something about it. And yes, 2 days is within 2 weeks. And no, I don't care that he didn't wait 2 weeks. You're not supposed to say, hey, we're coming over the hill in 20 minutes. He gave them an option. They declined the option. They suffered the circumstances. Sorry, guys, you brought it on yourself. So, knee-jerk reaction. Maybe this was the right action, and maybe this was the right time. The right method? Well, yes, the stealth bomber is a great way to do it. So that part of the method, cool. Not so cool was the way he handled Congress. Instead of informing Congress that this was coming, he just told a couple of his Republican toadies in Congress what was coming. And that's really not cool. What you're supposed to do is you get a hold of one of the bipartisan committees like Foreign Affairs or Intelligence or something like that, one of the small committees, tell all of them, the Democrats and the Republicans, because if you're defending the country, they are part of the country, and even if you don't like them, you have to tell them. Now, he did not need their permission. He just needed to give them a heads up, like 30 minutes before so that no one could leak it. You give them a heads up. The Democrats need to shut up about impeachment. This is not an impeachable offense. This is not an offense at all. The president, in a situation where he perceives a physical emergency, does not have to ask Congress whether or not to commit troops. He can commit troops anywhere he wants in the world to do almost anything he wants in the world for 100 days. In 100 days, if it's still going on, Congress can decide whether or not it continues. But he does not need their permission, so this is not an impeachable offense. This, Democrats, is why you are so ineffective right now. You are flailing at the wrong targets. There are plenty of impeachable things that he has done. This is not one of them. Stay on point, quit flailing, get your act together. Going forward, what are we going to do now? Iran is already, pretty much as I'm recording this, bombing Israel. They have sent many, many bombs over. They are causing quite a bit of devastation. The question is, what will America do about it? Will America step in to help Israel now that they're being even more severely bombed? We don't necessarily have to get involved in that, but we are going to be attacked in some form or fashion. It stands to reason. We have several bases in the area, and Iran has several loyal cells near those bases. So something's going to happen out there, most likely. They are also going to try and close off the supply of oil going through their seas and attack probably some of our ships in that area. So what are we going to do about that? And there's a better than even chance that they're going to do some domestic stuff around here. What are we going to do about that? So the question is, do we have the stomach for the long haul and what's coming? And do we have the team? There's a big sticking point, because for all of their faults, the Bush-Cheney team did have a good team in place. Who did they have? In addition to Dick Cheney, they had Paul Wolfowitz, Colin Powell, Donald Rumsfeld, and Condoleezza Rice. These are really, really smart people. These are people who are highly experienced. These were people who were trained and who had been there, done that. We do not have that team. We have these people. We have people with no experience. We have people with no talent. We have people who are just sycophants who will do what they're told, and that's not what we need right now. We need people who are smart and know something about what's going on and how to deal with these situations. Hopefully, there are people still within these organizations that can filter up good advice and good intel. Even though we fired several at the top layers, there still are career people who know things and can do things, and hopefully we're going to listen to them and get some advice and get some good information. So that's where we are. That's what I got. No firm opinions, but thoughts, reactions, and some speculation. So that's what I got. I hope this helped you. Go out, research. Let your officials know that you are not just going to follow along like lemmings. You are involved, you are engaged. And the fact that you listen to this whole thing, if you listen to this whole thing, shows that you have quite a bit of engagement. And agree with me, disagree with me, that's not the point. The point is you're engaged and you're paying attention. And that's all we really need, is for people to start really paying attention. So that's all I got for now. Thank you so much, and I will see you when 3 comes along. Thanks.